Traveltelevision speaks with Pauline Frommer, a site for helping abandoned and injured animals in Mexico on webtips. All this and more, so on to our first stop.
My name is Daniel Kirchhoff, and I'm living in Queens, New York. I'm down in Common Ground in Lower 9th Ward volunteering for 2 weeks, and I heard about Common Ground when I was volunteering with the homeless up in West Side of New York, and I met some people who came down here, and I was interested in volunteering, but I didn't know of how I do it logistically, and they told me Common Ground would give you 3 meals a day and give you a place to stay, so I figured that would solve that problem. So I contacted Common Ground. It was very simple. They gave me an application form, and that was it on the website. And I've been down here for a week now, and we're cleaning out houses, gutting houses, and just finished up on a clinic, a free clinic, so that's going to be working in about a few days now. And I'm living with the community of volunteers and also residents of the Lower Ninth, so I've been listening to a lot of stories, what's going on here, and it's been pretty enlightening and very moving as far as what people have gone through. And they're just really happy to have people down here. They're excited to see people from all over the country that care. And that's part of the reason why I came down here, is I was just hearing terrible stories about how no one's really doing much, or the government especially has been really dropping the ball, so I wanted to do my own part. So it's been a good experience. It's been very interesting, and it's a great place to just find out for yourself what's going on, and also to see people who are starting from scratch again and have an incredible willpower to try to make their lives good again. I went to a Baptist service, and it was just really positive, very moving how they were really hopeful about what's going to happen, but they also realize there's a lot of work to be done here, and there's tons of work to be done, so we really need volunteers, and we need people to just come down here, and even just witnessing what's happening is important. So I hope you can make it down here. Thanks.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
Continuing the family business into its second generation, Pauline Frommer is an award-winning journalist with her own line of travel guides. She currently writes for MSNBC.com and co-hosts a weekly radio program with her dad, Arthur Frommer. At the Travel and Adventure Show, Traveltelevision spoke with Pauline.
I'm here with Pauline Frommer. Her name is pretty much synonymous with travel, how to do it well, and how to do it for less. Today we're going to talk to Pauline about volunteerism. We know that part of the travel industry is increasing, even in places where, or even in instances where other parts have decreased. Tell us about what you think about this volunteerism trend and this increase.
Well, the increase has not just been more and more companies, although that's part of it. What interests me is, it used to be if you wanted to do a volunteer vacation, you had to donate 2 to 3 weeks of your time. Nowadays, it's possible to do a regular vacation and maybe just 1 or 2 days, or even just 1 day of volunteering, which is a very good option for people who want to try this type of vacation before they commit to it full time. I recently went to the Give the Kids the World Village in Orlando, which is where all the children from the Make-A-Wish Foundation go if their wish is to go to Orlando, and something like 95% of them, that's their wish. And so they set up this incredible resort entirely run by volunteers, and it's focused on their needs. So there's a playground that's wheelchair accessible, and all the meals are free. I volunteered in the ice cream parlor making hot fudge sundaes, and it was the most magical place in Orlando. It killed the Magic Kingdom. You know, it just was an incredible opportunity to be there, to meet these kids and also their families. You know, the families haven't had a break for years, and so to see the joy on their faces that their child got their wish come true and that they could experience this together was very moving.
What advice would you have for families who are interested in traveling as a group?
Well, there are volunteer vacations for families, absolutely. They tend to be more limited than the ones just for adults, but you should ask the volunteer organization. Usually the children have to be 8 years or older. I think that if they're younger than that, the parent has to spend too much time taking care of the child to really be an effective volunteer.
Every year, the Points of Light Institute and the Corporation for National and Community Service holds the largest volunteer conference. In 2011, the conference was held in New Orleans, Louisiana. The attendees participated in a community project that entails rebuilding a community center in the 9th Ward.
As we become a nation of service, this country is going to get stronger and better.
Now, more than ever, we need service champions, super empowered citizens who are utilizing new, more powerful tools for change.
The people of New Orleans want to partner with you and begin to pay it forward. We sent a whole team of people up to Joplin. We sent our chefs, we sent our musicians to actually make sure the people of Joplin know that we're not going to leave them behind.
We are truly jumping for Joplin.
I like being of help and being of use to my community and to my country.
It's really important to learn about giving back to the community. It's a lifelong lesson.
Volunteering is a crucial part of living. I'm not sure you're really engaging in society and in life if you're not given a chance to volunteer.
Service is in our nation's DNA. No matter our economic circumstances, throughout our history, we have come together to serve each other.
Volunteers matter. The kids from AmeriCorps, who are just phenomenal.
Road to the Gulf program is really all about not only mobilizing volunteers, but also mobilizing volunteer leaders.
This is a big service project for us. We are partners with the Hands-On Network, Points of Light Institute.
They had this amazing idea of, since our conference is going to be in New Orleans this June, why don't we do a series of projects all around America that lead up to that conference?
We're here today helping spruce up the place because this is an organization that we understand provides opportunity to a disadvantaged community with regards to education and training.
We have volunteers from Hands-On Bay Area in conjunction with the University of Phoenix working here at Burton High School to help beautify the school.
They're here to make our school a more beautiful and welcoming place for our students, parents, and community members.
At my particular school site, they cleaned the whole area, mulched it, and made it look amazingly beautiful.
This is our final stop on our road to the Gulf, and so it's a 6-month journey for University of Phoenix.
Volunteers put together thousands of notebooks, highlighters, pencils, and shipped them down here for us.
We're putting together a play structure here. We've also got all kinds of other activities going on, building benches, shade awnings, planting trees, really creating something here that the community can rally around.
Cultivating a new kind of generation of service leaders empowers people to take on projects that they see in their own communities.
We got our employees, staff, faculty, alumni, students to do service projects, and it's just really kind of the beginning in filling that gap that volunteers can do where cities don't have the resources and the budgets.
These days, it seems that communities are being tested like never before. The economic stresses of a slow recovery affect the bottom line for families and for government at all levels. And natural disasters such as Hurricane Katrina, the earthquakes in Japan and Haiti, the widespread flooding in the South, and most recently the tornadoes across the U.S. are all calls for communities, local government, and corporations to think about how to be more resilient in the face of any calamity. One thing shines through, though, is that communities are at their strongest when everyone participates. Individuals, families, government, local businesses, and corporations. Corporate America has a long history of involvement in the communities in which they operate. They've partnered side by side with other corporations, community leaders, and institutions to support communities in need. And there is an unmistakable correlation between strategic investment in communities and the creation of stable and sustainable business environment.
Thank you for being here, for standing with us, and thank you for being champions of service.
My champion of service is my mother,
my parents,
my husband,
my son,
my AmeriCorps team and what they do in the field.
My champion of service is...
My champion of service is...
You! Volunteer work gives me a sense of accomplishment that since I was given so much, I can actually give back to the community.
Everybody, no matter who you are, you have something to give. So every time you give, you get. And that's what it's about.
Fulfills my purpose in life.
I feel like in a way it's helping myself to become a better person.
It's helping you, it's helping everyone around, it's helping today, it's helping tomorrow, it's helping well into the future. So it's really important to just make the place that you live and love somewhere that's nice to be in.
This is Bruges, a little city of romance and culture. The weather today isn't the greatest, but the city still impresses. This beautiful central square is very well preserved, and it's a great place to grab a drink or just take a stroll. In fact, the whole city is a nice place to walk around. But the best way to see Bruges? Definitely on two wheels.
Imagine you're here in Bruges and it's the 14th century. The city's on a par with Paris as well as London. Then something happens. It's called the Industrial Revolution. It misses Bruges completely, which is both a blessing and a curse. A curse because the city was left in poverty for many, many centuries. A blessing because the buildings that are here were left intact. The city itself is preserved, and the entire city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 3 million visitors come here every single year and interact with the 20,000 inhabitants who make the central city their home.
Nobody here misses the Industrial Revolution. The sky today is about as dark as the day gets, and you can still see all of the old great buildings and historic city streets. But architecture and history are only two of the less indulgent reasons to visit Bruges. Canals are one of the city's iconic sights, and there are plenty of ways to enjoy them. I'm going to stick with my wheels today and take in some of the old Bruges streets and imagine I am passing by the workings of another century, at least until my legs give out.
So if you don't want to ride a bike, you can actually hop one of those boats. It's a 30-minute tour of the city, and it gives you a very different perspective from the water level up at the buildings that reside along the canals.
At one point, Bruges was a flourishing port full of wool, lace, and diamond traders. Eventually, an estuary full of silt cut Bruges off from the sea, and trade moved to other port cities like Antwerp. Today, the ambiance in Bruges is world-renowned. It is a can't-miss stop on any Flanders itinerary.
Well, I've done a lot of biking, so I think I'm entitled to a little treat. And here in Bruges, that treat's going to be chocolate. And there's a reason the chocolate I'm going to try today is in the shape of a swan.
Swans are an international symbol of romance, and they are all over the city. Legend has it that in the late 15th century, an official for the Austrian court who was working in Bruges, an official called Longneck, was executed by the citizens. The the Austrian court punished the rebellious citizenry by mandating that swans be kept on the lakes and canals of their city for all eternity. Whatever the intent behind that punishment, it has turned out to be more like a gift.
Neighborhood you're standing in right now is upper class black neighborhood. These are the people that was doctors, lawyers, teachers, principals, nurses, bank collector, bank teller. So they had good jobs. You know, this is the backbone of part of the city. It's called New Orleans East, and this is the newest neighborhood have been built in New Orleans. You know, because when you leave New Orleans East, next place you go to Slidell, and first place you come to when you come into Slidell, leaves New Orleans, coming back away, is New Orleans East, a city within a city. Big money people, you know. If you look at a neighborhood, look around the house, you see the house is not no shack, you know. You don't see these houses like this down in the Ninth Ward, you know. This is the richest black area. This whole area, all the way from Chef Highway back to the levee. Upper class people that, you know, that had money, had a good job. Children went to the best school, private school. I said 85% of people here went to private school, and they got the best education, you know. But there's nothing here left. When you look at it, we have only had one flood in New Orleans. Well, you know, the one back in 1907, we didn't know anything about that. But I came down here in 1965 when Bessie was the flood. Get out of here. Let's see what up here. First time I ever saw a hurricane, 1965, I got caught down here, couldn't go back home. And where I came from, they didn't have hurricane. I mean, I'm from Bogalusa. If people would come down here today, what would they do? Help build houses back, the houses you see gutted out, help build them back. But these people house you see gutted out, they want to get started. Lord put me in contact with so many people, you know, because you know, my folks needed me a lot, you know, and I was out here doing work for other people, you know. And not that I regret it, you know, I was blessed that Lord gave me the strength to do these things, you know. I would leave my house early in the morning. After I drop my wife off at school, drop the baby off at school at 9 o'clock. I would jump in the car and run to New Orleans. Woo! Fly down here, I'm talking about fly. And get back home. See, all this is empty, you know, people gone, you know, pretty houses. Man, it's just hard to believe. It's hard to believe. So many people have been put out of their home. Is this fair for these people to stay out that this long? A year? We've been gone a year. As of yesterday, the 29th. A year. Just like it happened last year. Everybody's coming back on this street because, you know, you just drive down the street and you see a trail in the yard, you see the house being gutted out, or you see a sign that says, I'll be back, all the way through, you know. And the only reason people are not back right now is because they are afraid to come back because of the hurricane season. Okay. I'm coming back. This is what I tell you about it. This is home.
According to their website, Give Kids the World is a nonprofit organization that exists with one goal: to fulfill the wishes of all children with life-threatening illnesses and their families from around the world to experience a memorable, joyful, and totally free visit to the Central Florida attractions, and to enjoy the magic of Give Kids the World Village for as long as there is a need. To date, over 115,000 children have had their dream come true at Give Kids the World. No child in need has ever been turned away, and no child ever will. Give Kids the World depends on volunteers, known as angels, who fulfill approximately 1,200 volunteer shifts every week. Individuals and many companies, civic organizations, social clubs, and religious groups that volunteer throughout the year on a regular basis, or even just once in a while, are welcome. Give Kids the World can accommodate any volunteer group size and can customize the group volunteer experience. Volunteers can spend a day, an afternoon, or just a few hours. Groups may volunteer on a select date, on a regular basis, or several times per year. Volunteer groups are typically scheduled in a variety of areas throughout the village, including food service, entertainment venues and programs, behind-the-scenes projects, landscaping, and much more. Those interested should visit the Give the Kids the World website, gktw.org, to reserve a date on the group volunteer schedule, or just find out more information. Email volunteergroup@gktw.org and include as much information as possible. Volunteers must be 12 years of age or older to participate in the volunteer program.
Every day, in places all over the world, United Methodists are answering a call to serve, and in return, their lives are changed.
We get dirty, we get sweaty together, and it just strengthens us. It brings us closer together. We're from Cedricsville, Missouri, and we're in Big Rock, Tennessee to do repairs from the tornado damage. My name is Carla Kiefer. I am youth leader, and I'm also a mother. Our annual mission trips are also family vacations. My husband I call the workaholic. When it comes to a vacation, he is more comfortable doing a vacation such as a mission trip than to go out and spend money at vacation resorts and other things.
It works out pretty good. My wife was there the only way she can get me to leave home, so because I work all the time. Like I said, do construction. We got a small farm, so it's one way to get away, and get something done for other people and be as a family together.
Normally, like we get a lot of time to talk to each other as we work or have fun.
I'm Trent Kiefer. I'm 18. We're putting on this roof for Wayne. This week we hope to finish 2/3 of the roof. We hope to maybe get a ceiling up in the front porch.
These folks took the time to look at what they were doing and to be considerate about my house and my belongings. And it makes a world of difference. So I'm thoroughly pleased with their presence and their progress.
You would be amazed at what these kids can do. Yes, these kids can tear off a roof and put a roof back on. These kids can put up sheetrock. These kids can lay down flooring. You may not be able to get it out of them at home, but when you say it's a mission trip and they're working for God and they're working to help somebody else, they all jump in there and they all work hard. And it's not just our kids, it's all these kids.
Be there. Be hope. For more information about volunteer opportunities, call 1-800-UMC-GBGM.
Well, it's really important that we're starting our mission with a church, because everything starts with the faith in your God, faith in your friends, faith in help, faith in each other.
I'm Gary Mitchell. I'm a junior at Fenwick High School, and we're all here to help out with the rebuilding of this church here. And it's been a really great experience so far, right, guys? Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but it's really rewarding, and it's just awesome to be able to help other people when they're in need, because you never know when you're going to need help from someone else. And so just spreading our work ethic and our love and our enthusiasm to people who need hope.
Last year we did drywalling. I was with my family, and I thought it was such a great experience. This year I wanted to bring it to Fenwick, my high school, and have a big group of people come down and help out. So I went to administration, and Mr. Paulette and I got this together. And we came up, there are 47 people down here. What we're doing now is we're taking off roof of houses, and we're gonna put it back together again and hopefully get the shingles up and stuff. This is a Baptist church, and I think this is very special that we're working on a church considering we're a Catholic school, and that how God has brought all of us together.
Also, New Orleans has sort of been a forgotten cause since Katrina, and we wanted to show that there's still a lot to be done and that it's not even close to being done. As you can see, there's a lot more that needs to be done.
One of the messages we want to send back is that volunteering is very much needed, and that you can always help other people out. You just have to put a little time aside and you can do it, and it's really rewarding because it's good to know that your talents and your abilities can be put to use to help other people have a better quality of life.
Hey, my name's Nick Bortolotti. I'm from Elmhurst, Illinois. My sister, who's actually on this trip somewhere else, she had the idea of coming on this work trip. My dad immediately latched on. They both looked expectantly at me, so I said, fine, okay, I'll go. And I'm actually really glad I came. It's been great so far. We're redoing all the roofs in the background, and I'm just glad I get to help out.
And anyone could do this. It's so simple, and you'll get something back, and you're also giving to people that didn't think they could do it on their own. So it's nice to